Hi! If you are a reader like me, you are always on the hunt for the next book. And actually, if you're a reader like me, you already have a pile of books in the corner that you hope to get to someday, but then you keep adding to the pile because you see more books. So maybe you don't need my suggestions, but I have been asked many times to let people know what I'm reading, and my reading choices are all over the place. There are certain books and types and genres that I really don't usually read, but in general, I'm kind of everywhere when it comes to books. So this will be just all over the place, but these are the books that I have. First, I will talk about the ones real quickly that I have read in the past year for 2017, and then I'll show you some of the books from the pile that I already have going of the ones that I would like to read. Now, my daughter is a librarian. God love her. It's the greatest thing ever when you're a reader to have a daughter as a librarian. She gets to, she catalogs the books when they first come into the library and gets them ready to be put on the shelves and so forth. So she's the one doing all that, and she sees them first. When they cut open the box, she gets to get them first. So I always know the newest, greatest, latest things, which is so much fun. Anyway, what I would like to say is that she has brought several books home for me to read from the library that she works at, so I don't actually have the physical books in front of me because obviously I gave them back to the library, but I will insert a picture of those. And I just looked, I have a list here of ones so I don't forget them because they're not in front of me, so I will be looking down at that list. So quickly, let's first talk about the books that I liked, that I can think of, that I liked the most that I read in 2017. I'm not going to talk a lot about the books because it'll just get too long and so forth, but I'll just give you a general idea. So anyway, if you're interested, grab a cup of coffee or tea or whatever you like, and let's start talking books. Okay, one of my favorite books that just stands out in my head that I loved this past year was The City Baker's Guide to Country Living, and it's by Louise Miller. And this book was just, I really enjoyed it. Basically, a lot of my novel type books have to do with either cooking, shopping, or what was the other one? Or anything literary. So basically those tend to be the things that I like books about, and you'll see some of that here too. But The City Baker's Guide to Country Living, I love fish out of water stories too, and she goes from a larger city to a smaller place and has to, you know, figure her way out, and there's cooking involved and crazy cast of characters, and I just really enjoyed that book. It's kind of a good cozy book to settle in with. It's an all seasons book, but I think it's really especially good for the winter. So I recommend that one. Another one that I absolutely loved was called Dinner with Edward by Isabel Vincent. Such a good book. Short. You can get through it fairly quickly. Just a really good story. Edward's an older gentleman who lost his wife. And he just imparts an awful lot of wisdom to a younger person in his life, and it's just really good. So I highly recommend that one, especially if you like cooking. There's that too. Origin by Dan Brown. I don't read a lot of Dan Brown. I did, of course, read The Da Vinci Code twice. Loved that book. But Origin, it just spoke to me when it first came out. I thought, hey, I'll grab that one, and so I did. And throughout the whole book, I'm thinking, oh, people aren't gonna like this. Oh, there's a lot of people that aren't gonna like this. You know, and I was very curious as to how it gets your hackles up a little bit sometimes. You know, you're thinking, but then, I don't know. I'm just telling you, it's a very good read. And if you do find that you are getting a little perturbed during it, just keep up with it. You know, go through, because the end will probably make you feel a little bit better. Okay. Oh, I love this one. The Secret Diary of Hendrik Groen. Anyway, I will put a picture of the book here. I enjoyed this so much. It made me chuckle, especially if you have an older man in your life, your father, uncle, grandfather, whatever, who you can just picture him being like this. This is an older gentleman in a basically nursing home type of a situation in the Netherlands. And it's just a funny take on the goofy goings on in different, you know, retirement homes and so forth, and I just thought it was really sweet. It's a bit, you know, touching and sad and poignant in parts, but it's a really good read, and it will make you chuckle and even laugh out loud. And I went and shared it with my mother afterwards because I figured she'd get a good chuckle out of it too. So love that one. And Where No Evil. I don't think I even have this one here. No, I don't. Where No Evil. Very good book. What I like the most about this is nonfiction. It basically talks about how the fast fashion that has taken over the world with the H&Ms and the, you know, the really fast fashion, you know, the places that have different turnover constantly, and the clothes aren't made terribly well, and they're not made from great things, but they are inexpensive and of the moment in style. How in a way those are kind of ruining the world. Just the pictures and so forth that you can look up of the massive piles. They're like mountains of clothing items and old cloth that they didn't use and so forth, just piled up and outside in places, just in the rain, just soaking wet piles of this. How the fabric dyes and things that can leach out of there, how if you don't wash them, they get into your skin and it's very bad for you too. So if you don't wash your things ahead of time, just all sorts of things. And how the people who make these clothing items make almost no money. They're not treated well. It's not a good situation. Wear no evil. Liked it very much. Okay, for the ones that I do have in front of me that I remember really enjoying this past year, and I just finished this one. It's a new book. It's The Parisian Charm School by Jamie Cat Callan, and I love that Callan is my daughter's name, so that's kind of neat. It's the French secrets for cultivating love, joy, and that certain je ne sais quoi. The charming benefits of travel, the romance of dance, voice lessons, food is love, how to heal a broken heart. Just really neat little bits and pieces, and I enjoyed it very much. So take a look at this one. It's cute, it's good, it's not a difficult read at all. It's just filled with cute little bits. So enjoyed this very much. A book that I have just finished, and it is also from my daughter's library, is The Little Book of Lykke. I did a series on Hygge, the cozy factor, the Danish cozy bits. Well, this is written by a man who also had a book. It was called The Little Book of Hygge. Now he has The Little Book of Lykke. And Lykke is basically happiness. It's the secrets of the world's happiest people. And he is actually the CEO of the Happiness Research Institute in Copenhagen, which I think, wow, there's a Happiness Research Institute. I think that's hilarious. This is his name. I'm sure I cannot pronounce it correctly. But he basically studied the different secrets of the world's happiest people. I get people asking me all the time, you know, how do I remain so positive? How am I always so happy? And I don't know. I honestly don't. I think it's something inside me, but I've also cultivated it somewhat, and I'll talk more about that sometime. But I do find an interest in the subject. But it just talks about how you measure happiness and togetherness, money, health, freedom, trust, kindness, and putting those pieces together. So I do like this very much, and I will probably talk about this more at another time. But there's that one. Now, this is one that I think everyone should read every single year. I originally purchased this, I believe, in 2016, but I reread it again because it reminds you of the things that, the 15 things you should give up to be happy. I did an entire video on this book, and I will try to link all the videos I talk about down below somewhere so you can try to find them easier or just go through my thread. But the 15 things you should give up to be happy is so spot on. I mean, it really reminds you of the important things in life and the things that take some of the happiness away and how to get rid of those things. So there's that one. Love it. Now this one, it's a Woman's Guide to Unlimited Abundance. It's by Christy Whitman, and she is a best-selling author, and it's called The Art of Having It All. It basically talks about how to be open to receiving in life, how to manifest what you want to happen in your life, how to get that to come about, the handbook to ultimate disempowerment and why you don't yet have it all, defining your it and your all. You need to define what that is to you first. It really, in an easy way, stands out as one of the books that just helps you determine for yourself in your mind what it is you're looking for in life and how to attain it. And I really enjoy that. Another one that I loved and reread again by Elizabeth Gilbert, the author of Eat, Pray, Love, Big Magic. I'm pretty sure I talked about this before. Reread it. It's just all about creative living and, you know, beyond fear. Absolutely the most freeing feeling in the world to just be able to create and not worry what others are doing. It's the best. So anyway, there's that. And speaking of You Do You, this book, You Do You by Sarah Knight. How to be who you are and use what you've got to get what you want. Now, this one is a little bit more, what do I want to say? It's done in kind of a tongue-in-cheek kind of a way. It gets kind of, you know, don't give a about anything kind of a way, and it's interesting, but it gets the same point across, to just be you. Find out who you are, what you stand for, and go with that. and live your life through that, and don't worry about others, and you do you. And I say you do you all the time to people, so that works. Now, this was one of my very all-time favorite books of the year. It's called Deluxe, How Luxury Lost Its Luster. And it's a hard-hitting, behind-the-scenes look at the luxury fashion industry today. And since I am a lover of many things fashion, high fashion related, I found this fascinating. It's a very good, it delves into like the business aspect of why certain products have raised their prices, how certain companies are trying to keep their items more exclusive. It's just so good, and it really makes you think. Highly recommend it if you are at all interested in high fashion and the business workings behind all that. Love this book, love it. And then one of my all-time favorite books that I read many years ago, but I had recommended it to my daughter, and then that brought it back up again in my mind. I'm like, you know, I'd like to reread that and see if I really did like it. You know, do I still like it as much as I did before? And I did. I love this book. It's David Baldacci, Wish You Well. I could read this book over and over and over. I don't know. There's something about this book I just love. So I will be happy to recommend this to you. And it's just a very good book. Look into it if you don't know anything about that one. Let me take a look here. The books that I do plan to read this year, I have a couple ordered coming to me. I know the Immortalists is coming to me. I believe I'm supposed to receive that today from Amazon. I ordered that, pre-ordered it a long time ago. I also am planning to read Before We Were Yours by Lisa Wingate. That's another one that I have coming to me. And here are the ones that I have that are in my pile to read. And again, they're all over the place. This is a true story. It's called Take Good Care of the Garden and the Dogs. It's a lady who lived in a tiny Alaskan town, had a near fatal bike accident, and then how she dealt with that in her life and the way she lives in this small tiny town, and how she fell in love with the town all over again and the beauty of the Alaskan area. And my Alaskan cruise that we took with my family, I swear it almost changed my life. I mean, that was the most beautiful, I don't know, I want to do it again. I absolutely just loved that Alaskan cruise that we took. So anyway, there's that. Then this one I thought just looked good. Don't know, I haven't read it yet because these are my two reads, but it's called The Library at the Edge of the World. And basically, it's she drives a mobile library van between little villages on Ireland's west coast. It just really looked good to me. So I will let you know if I enjoy it. So there's that one. Now this one, the title kind of cracks me up, but it reminds me so much of the Marie Kondo book, The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying, or whatever it's called, which I didn't like as well as many people did, but that's neither here nor there. But this reminds me of that. It's called The Gentle Art of Swedish Death Cleaning. How to free yourself and your family from a lifetime of clutter. And basically the idea of it is, if you are an older person and you know that you don't have the world's longest time to be on this planet anymore, how to get rid of a whole bunch of things that no one else wants to go through when you're gone, and just kind of clearing out the clutter. But it's not just about that. I don't plan to go anywhere anytime soon. But it just kind of gives the in a light way too, is the way it looks. It gives a way to look at freeing yourself of all that added baggage that you know no one's going to want those things ever. So why wait till you're 80 and 90 and 100 years old to try to figure the stuff out? Get rid of all that extra junk, clear it out. No one else wants to go through it. So I'm looking forward to reading that one. And then these three others are also nonfiction. This is The Gifts of Imperfection, and it was featured on the Super Soul Sunday from Oprah. Let go of who you think you're supposed to be and embrace who you are. And that is a subject that I have kind of been really looking into a lot lately. I don't know what it is about when you get to be my age or something. I feel like, I don't know if it's a woman thing or not, but you finally get to a place, you've raised your children, you've gone through all those years of accumulating so much, you know, your houses, your cars, your vacations. You've done most of the things that are on your main lists of life, and you just get to a point where you become yourself more. And I really enjoy studying that, and just that whole phenomenon of becoming you and letting just you be you and not worrying so much about what others think about it. And this just kind of reminds me of it, because no one is perfect. No one's ever going to be perfect. Nobody would want you to be perfect. But how to just basically learn how to let go of what you think you're supposed to be. You know, what you've been told all your life. What, you know, just society has made you think that you should be. And just be you. Just be you. You do you. Okay, that one. And then I have been trying for years to become a meditator on a regular basis. I go through fits and starts, and I've gone through guided meditations. I've gone through all sorts of different programs. I keep trying to do it. And when I do really get myself in a place where I am doing it regularly, I find myself to be so much more calm, and I just see the world differently. I don't know, it's just a more beautiful place inside. It feels good. So I thought I would grab this book because it is supposed to be a really good one for people like me who struggle with finding that 10 minutes a day or whatever. It's the 10% Happy How-To Book for Meditation for Fidgety Skeptics. So the title alone I thought was just completely hilarious. I love that. That is the hardest part, is trying to clear your mind and not make a plan for dinner and thinking about what you need to pick up in the store and what your next errand is. And then you even start thinking of, oh wow, cool, I didn't think of anything for a couple seconds. You know, that goes through your head when you're trying to not think of anything. So anyway, I've heard that this is a good one, and it is by Dan Harris. So, yeah. I'm going to enjoy that, I'm just sure of it. And then the last one that I just recently picked up, and I don't even know where I found this to read, but it is a true story of courage and adventure, a couple's journey into paradise. It's called Torn Trousers. And they go to a remote spot, the Okavango Delta in Botswana, and they basically take over one of the, you know, one of those places where people go to vacation to view the animals and so forth in Africa, and how they didn't really know what they were getting themselves into. And I love those fish out of water stories and just trying to struggle through and make something of what they have. I think so. I think that is it for right now. Now, my book pile and to-do list never ever ends. I definitely have books and piles of books all over my house, and then every few days another book pops up, and then my daughter shows me something that she saw at work that she thinks that I might like, and she's spot on. She always knows exactly what I'd like. So that will change constantly. But for those of you that I have promised book reading information to, I'm talking to you, House. Here you go. And this is what I have been reading, and this is what I will be reading. So thank you so much. Please let me know if you have a favorite book, or just by judging what I've been looking at, if you have ones that you have loved or you think I would love. I would love to know. Thanks.